I used to think that in order to be a full-time YouTuber, I would need to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. But recently I've seen more and more creators with less than 100,000 subs giving up their day jobs and going full-time. They're making the same, if not more money from YouTube than their day jobs, and they get to do what they love full-time, which sounds like the absolute dream. So this got me thinking, what does it take to actually become a full-time content creator? And where the hell do I sign up? Because as a person who's juggling a couple of side hustles along with a full-time job, the sooner I can make content creation my main hustle, the better. Now looking at this chart, only a small percentage of creators hit that 1 million subs mark. So aiming for 1 million fans is probably not that realistic. There's more people that hit that 100k mark and even more that hit the 10k mark. 1,000 subs is a whole lot more feasible to aim for than 1 million subs. To be a successful creator, you don't need millions of dollars, millions of customers, millions of clients, or millions of fans. To make a living as an artist, you need thousands of true fans. And according to Kevin Kelly and his 2008 article, it turns out that 1,000 fans is all you need to make a living, but those 1,000 must be true fans. So what is a true fan? And where do we get them? A true fan is someone that will buy anything you produce. They're effectively a super fan. They're the ones that will drive hundreds of miles to see you, the ones who will buy the paperback, Kindle and audio version of your book, and the ones that will sign up to your Patreon even if you have nothing to offer in return. Now pre-internet, you might have been the only one in your town who was obsessed with cookies, for example, though I find that hard to believe. But with the internet, social media and things like YouTube, it's now even easier than before to find your true fans. You're now only one click away from somebody else just like you, or a whole cookie club.
We share cookie.
And there's pretty much a fan base for everything on the internet, all weird and wonderful things. So your fans could quite literally come from all over the world. And get this, you only need 1 in a million people to become a true fan, because 1 in a million is 7,000 potential true fans. Another thing worth noting is that by creating content for your true fans, you will also find regular fans. So roughly for every 1 super fan you have, you're gonna have 2 to 3 regular fans. So how does 1,000 true fans translate into making a living? And notice I said living, not a fortune. Let's do the maths. If you have 1,000 true fans and you get $100 from each of those true fans, that's 100k a year. But remember, this 1,000 isn't absolute. So if you had 500 true fans, but you made $200 profit from them, then that's still 100k a year. Or you had 2,000 true fans, but only made $50 profit from each one, 100k. You might not even need 100k per year. You might be comfortable on 50k a year. Or you might actually want 200k a year, and therefore you adjust the numbers. And if you have to split it with someone, like you're in a partnership or some kind of group, then make sure you account for that too. And remember when I said you will also attract regular fans as well? Well, those regular fans will also buy your work, just less frequently, but it still counts towards your income. It could even bring in 50% of your super fan income. So take for example, if you had 1,000 true fans, but you had 10,000 regular fans, if you could convert just 10% of your regular fans at $50 profit per fan, that's another 50k to bring in, taking your total to 150k for the year. So the next question is, where does this $100 profit per fan come from? The most obvious option is probably offering a physical or digital product that you can sell. But there are other options. You could monetize your YouTube channel through AdSense, you could offer membership levels through Patreon, or you could just ask for support for your channel through things like Buy Me a Coffee. You could also sell merch. Now it could be that you don't actually need your fans to make a living, but there are certain projects you might want financing. And this is where crowdfunding comes in. Your fans can finance your next product for them. It's a win-win. There are so many of these platforms that are available to us worldwide, but the most well-known is probably Kickstarter. And at the time the article was written, Kickstarter had raised $2.5 billion for 100,000 projects. And the most interesting point was that the average number of supporters for a successful project was 241, which is a whole lot less than 1,000. Now this actually reminds me of a story from Austin Kleon's Show Your Work. Musician Amanda Palmer had shared her music for free with her fans and had cultivated a relationship over time with them. Then, when she needed $100,000 to record her next album, she asked her fans to contribute. And they actually raised $1 million rather than 100,000. Okay, great. Now we know what we need to do to cultivate this relationship. But the truth is, it's not that easy, and it's incredibly time consuming. It's like when they say that you should reply to every comment that you get on your YouTube videos. You create this direct connection, and if you do, you're well on your way from making a living from it. It's a much easier place to get to than 1 million subs or 1 million fans. The key is maintaining a true relationship with your audience. That way, they're giving to you directly and supporting you directly. But not everybody is willing to nurture this relationship. Some people want to just go out, do their thing, and then be gone, which is absolutely fine, because it can very quickly become a full-time job. You have to want to actually create that relationship with your fans. Now, there are people on YouTube that don't have the most subs, but they're still pulling in 6 to 7 figure salaries from their businesses as a result of it. It's not the AdSense that's going to make you rich, it's the multiple streams of revenue that they have in addition to YouTube. Look at the breakdown of people's how much I earn on YouTube videos. One thing they all have in common though is that they cultivated their fan base first. They created a community of like-minded people. In the words of Gary Vee, they were jabbing for a very long time, and then when the time was just right, they right hooked. For me, I know I'm not destined for stardom. Not everybody is. That's kind of the point. But this article proves that that's not the only path to success. There is an alternative. 1 million fans may be unlikely, but 1,000 fans seems absolutely feasible. And I would much rather genuine appreciation from this group than have 1 million fans that will just move on to the next thing when it comes along. People often say that it feels no different to them when they hit 500,000 subs to when they hit 5,000 subs. Those early milestones mean so much more. And those numbers are so much easier to comprehend. It's easier to visualize 1,000 people than it is to visualize 1 million people. I mean, what does 1 million people even look like? Also, 1,000 people is still a number that you can interact with. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to interact with 1 million people. And they're your people. They're the ones that resonate with you and share your thoughts and opinions. I love the idea of 1,000 true fans. Finding my people and making their lives a little easier or better. Now, everybody is different and will have different goals, so you need to know what yours is and define what success means to you. Some people do want 1 million subs or 1 million fans. Some people do want to make $1 million, but some just want to earn a living doing what they love, like me. And if that's the goal, then that can be done with just 1,000 true fans. So thank you to Kevin Kelly for writing this article, and to Austin Kleon for writing Show Your Work. If you enjoyed this and want to find out more about how you can cultivate this kind of relationship with your audience, then give this video a watch over here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.